Hello, everyone. This is Zach. I will be honest with you. 3 years ago, a simple ice storm left my area without electricity for 5 days. 5 days.
Now before they come
What struck
back.
me the most,
But what
not the
about the
darkness or the
others?
cold,
We can't
but
just
how
leave
my
them.
neighbors, whom I had known for many years, were completely unprepared. One man was lighting charcoal briquettes in the kitchen. Another was traveling across the city to charge his phone. I observed the chaos that could have been prevented with just a little preparation and a few necessary things. This is the reality. The power grid is aging. Infrastructure failures are becoming more frequent. Every year, we face more extreme weather conditions. The average American faces over 8 hours of power outages each year, and this number continues to rise. But here is what really worries me. Most people think they are prepared because they have a flashlight somewhere in a drawer. In reality, they are not ready. They are just one long blackout away from a real crisis. I have been seriously preparing since 2012. This is more than 10 years of training in real situations, mistakes, and practice systems. Today, I will share 11 specific items that truly separate those who can endure outages from those who barely survive. These are not general recommendations you will find on every blog. These are time-tested items that ensured the safety and comfort of my family during long outages. Stay with us, because I will also share what most preparation materials completely ignore. This is a view of readiness for disconnections that will change your perception of these objects forever. Let's start with the first, and it is absolutely necessary. Your body begins to shut down after just 3 days without water. This is not intimidation, it's human physiology. Nevertheless, when the freeze happened in Texas, families were left without water for almost a week. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention updated their official guidelines this year. You need at least 1 gallon per person per day. If you have hot weather or someone with medical issues, you need to double that amount. What is truly sad, a recent study from the University of California showed that 78% of Americans do not even have a 3-day supply of water at home. Are you one of them? Most people think they can just buy bottled water when something happens. That's not a plan. It's hope. And hope won't provide your family with water. During emergencies, bottled water disappears first from the shelves. What remains is either too expensive or reserved for those with money. You need backup water today. Forget about those fragile milk cartons that break down in a few years and release chemicals. The smart choice is BPA-free water containers. These stackable containers save space, last for years without degradation, and fit neatly in cabinets or garage corners. I currently have 12 such containers in the garage, and they take up much less space than you might think. With a limited budget, the blue 7-gallon containers are just perfect. The main thing is to keep them away from direct sunlight and sharp temperature changes. But what truly distinguishes those who are ready for hard times from those who rely on luck? What to do when water supplies run out? Here, water purification becomes your true salvation. Water purification tablets are an incredible remedy. These tiny tablets can make questionable water safe in just 30 minutes. They are inexpensive, have a long shelf life, and weigh almost nothing. I have bottles with them in 3 different places. A real breakthrough for me was the water filter with a gravity system. During the last summer power outage, my neighbors stood in long lines paying $10 a gallon for bottled water, while I filtered rain and river water for free. The latest models eliminate 99.999,999 hundredths of bacteria and viruses. It's not just good, it's outstanding. The gravitational filter costs less than $50 and works without electricity, batteries, or moving parts. It simply stands and works when needed. This is the essence of the water issue. Water supply infrastructure fails first in nearly every disaster scenario. By spending about $60 in one morning, you can build a water system that will provide your family with water in any emergency. When the cranes dry up, and that will happen, you won't want to knock on doors in search of water. The second thing is what I learned from my own experience, and it's actually hard to talk about. When the electricity was cut off in winter, Texas saw a frightening 700% increase in carbon monoxide poisoning cases. Desperate people brought grills and camping stoves inside. I actually lost a distant cousin this way during Hurricane Sandy. He was just trying to warm his family and was cooking inside using unsuitable equipment. This could have been prevented. This tragedy left a mark in my memory, which is why I speak about it so insistently. You absolutely need alternative ways to cook, but they must be safe. First, get a butane stove. A consumer safety study conducted in the year 2024 identified this stove as the safest option for cooking at home with proper ventilation. I bought mine for $25, and the fuel cartridges work for several hours. I cooked everything on it, from simple ramen to full pasta dishes. The main thing is to slightly open the window and never leave the stove unattended. This is essential. For long gas outages, a gas grill is necessary. The latest models from companies like Camp Chef and Coleman are equipped with battery-free ignition systems designed specifically for emergencies. I learned this lesson when my electric grill broke down during the last blackout in our neighborhood. Now I keep matches and lighters next to the grill. Plus, I always have at least 2 extra propane tanks. During prolonged emergencies, propane becomes scarce, like toilet paper during a pandemic. People start to panic and buy it up. You need to have your own supply on hand. Here is the solution that truly amazed me when I first tested it. Solar ovens. These devices can reach temperatures of 350 degrees Celsius using only sunlight. I was skeptical until my neighbor cooked a whole lasagna during a 3-day power outage last summer using only solar energy. The latest models fold flat for storage and set up in seconds. Even on cloudy days, they can heat food to 200 degrees, enough to disinfect water and cook slow dishes. The efficiency is impressive, and these devices have no moving parts that can break. Don't forget about the dusty field equipment in your garage. Small folding stoves with hexamine fuel tablets are perfect for heating soup or coffee. They are compact, incredibly cheap, and the fuel tablets last a long time. I have one such stove in my emergency kit and another in the car. These devices are underrated because they seem too simple, but simplicity is reliability. Also, consider options with firewood. Rocket stoves, which you often see in survival shows, actually work very well. They use small twigs and branches. During last year's ice storm, I prepared 3 full meals a day using only fallen branches from my yard. The efficiency is simply astonishing. Just a handful of sticks boils water in minutes. You are essentially using renewable fuel that lies right on the ground. Storage and safety matter. The National Fire Protection Association reports that improper fuel storage is responsible for 42% of home fires during emergencies. Store propane tanks outside. Keep butane canisters in cool, dry places. Always refresh fuel supplies if they have been standing too long. While everyone else eats cold beans straight from the can by candlelight, you will enjoy hot meals. This is important not only from a nutritional standpoint. This matters for morale when everything around is collapsing. The third thing is that people actually have it, but misuse it. The flashlight of your phone drains in 20 minutes. And what then? I know a woman named Sarah from Michigan who relied on candles during an ice storm. One candle tipped over while she was sleeping. It almost burned her house down. A $20 investment could have completely prevented this nightmare. When the power grid failed in Texas, the emergency rooms reported a 43% increase in fall injuries due to people stumbling in the dark. Fractures, head injuries, serious accidents that could have been avoided with proper lighting. Don't become a statistic. Battery-powered lanterns are a real find. The new LED models of this year are incredibly efficient. Some work for 300 hours at low brightness. I have them in every room of the house. The LumenPack Light Nova just took first place in Consumer Reports due to its 24-hour runtime at maximum brightness and 5-year battery life. What I like most is that it folds for storage, but inflates into a full lantern when needed. Scattered light is much easier for the eyes to perceive during prolonged darkness than the sharp beams of a flashlight. The darkness becomes less oppressive. Headlamps are no longer just for tourists. When I had to fix a leak in the pipe during a power outage, my headlamp literally saved the situation. I could see what I was doing while keeping both hands free. The latest models weigh less than 300 grams and have red light modes that preserve night vision. My neighbor Mark used his flashlight to read bedtime stories to his frightened children during the storm. Sometimes light is important not only for functionality, but also for comfort and psychological well-being. Solar-powered lamps are where this industry is headed. And for good reason. A study by the Ministry of Energy showed that solar lamps with built-in batteries can work for up to 12 years without battery replacement. I was skeptical until I tested several of these lamps during hurricane season. Even after 3 cloudy days in a row, my solar lamps provided enough light to read comfortably. The latest models include USB ports for charging small devices, which is a true genius solution. Emergency agencies now recommend solar options as primary reserves, as they completely eliminate the battery storage issue. No batteries that can spoil or leak. No rotation schedules, they just sit on the shelf, charging during the day and working when needed. That's what surprised me. Storing batteries in the refrigerator does not extend their life. I learned this from research by Energizer. It is best to store them at room temperature in a dry place. Here, lithium batteries last 10 times longer than alkaline ones, especially in high-consumption devices like flashlights. I made this mistake during my first power outage. I kept the batteries for the emergency flashlight in the refrigerator, and they drained within a few hours when I really needed them. Not the best option. The fourth point may be the most important for maintaining a connection with the surrounding world. 11:47 in the evening. You are writing a message and everything shuts down. No light, no internet. Your phone barely holds on at 12% charge. With the power outage, electricity becomes a means of survival. Without backup power, you instantly revert 100 years back. Power banks are no longer just convenient chargers at the airport. The latest models have serious power, ranging from 25 to 30,000 milliamp hours. This is enough to charge your smartphone 5 or 6 times, keep USB fans running all night, and extend your laptop's battery life. Models like the Anker Power Core, with a capacity of 26,800 milliamp hours, or the Solar X, with a capacity of 4,200, are equipped with built-in solar panels, allowing you to recharge them endlessly during long outages. Keep these jars loaded and ready for use. One next to the bed, one in the pantry, one in the car. Additional points for models with multiple USB ports, so your family doesn't argue over cables. Some new banks have USB-C ports, powerful enough to charge tablets, drones, or portable Wi-Fi routers. Think about which devices are truly critical in your home and plan accordingly. For outages lasting more than a day, you need a backup supply for your reserves. Portable generators become relevant here. Don't let that word scare you. Modern generators are compact, quiet, and incredibly versatile. Note the dual fuel models, such as the Westinghouse Win 7500DF. They can run on both propane and gasoline, providing the option to choose when one fuel source becomes scarce. Some new models run on solar energy or use lithium batteries and are so quiet that you forget they are on. A medium power generator can power your refrigerator for 8 to 12 hours on one tank. He is capable of turning on heaters in cold weather, powering medical devices if necessary, and yes, even your coffee maker if you are determined to maintain your usual rhythm of life. However, generators require planning. This means safely storing fuel reserves, checking oil levels, and testing them before real emergencies. Conduct test runs every few weeks. Keep records. Change the fuel if it has been standing for a long time. Always remember safety with carbon monoxide. Generators should be used outdoors. Invest in models with carbon monoxide protection. Solar generators are becoming a trend. They are quiet, clean, and can be endlessly recharged by sunlight. Companies like Jackerii and EcoFlow are pushing boundaries by offering versatile battery packs that can charge phones, light up spaces, and power small devices from foldable solar panels. Batteries and generators are not just nice things. They are your lifeline when everything falls apart. Point number 5 is what people think they have, but actually do not. 8 o'clock in the evening, it's dark outside, and you open the refrigerator with an unpleasant feeling. Every fresh product inside begins its countdown to spoilage. If your pantry is not stocked with the right non-perishable foods, you are in serious trouble. Not all non-perishable foods are equal. Just because something is canned doesn't mean it will provide you with nourishment or mental peace during prolonged outages. Start with canned protein: tuna, chicken, beans. These are not empty products. They provide energy and protein when stress and anxiety begin to affect your body. Add non-perishable carbohydrates like rice, oatmeal, or powdered mashed potatoes. Some of them require water or minimal heating, but with a gas stove or thermos, it's not a problem. Pay attention to the nutrient density. Peanut butter, trail mix, and granola will help you stay full and focused. Dried fruits like apricots and raisins provide natural sugars and fiber. Packs of ultra-pasteurized milk or powdered milk add calcium, protein, and variety to your supplies. This is the mathematics that can be frightening. On average, an adult needs 2,000 calories a day. For a family of 4, that's 112,000 calories as a reserve in case of an emergency. It doesn't sound simple. Break it down into components. High-calorie foods like beans, rice, peanut butter, and canned soups make the task surprisingly manageable and cost-effective. Your rotation strategy is very important. Think about the principle of use and replace. Every time you use a can or container, replace it with a fresh supply from the back. This is called FIFO. First in, first out. Conduct a pantry audit every 6 months. Check for bulging cans, strange odors, or expired dates. Clearly label all products. Keep them high, away from sunlight. Maintain a printed list of your supplies. You don't want to count cans by candlelight during a real emergency. Many prepared people add ready-to-eat packages to their supplies that can be opened and eaten immediately. Beans, crackers, dried meat, nut mix, canned fruits. No heating, no preparation, just nutrition when needed. Don't forget about mood-boosting foods. When you are tense, scared, and in the dark, a simple cup of hot chocolate or a spoonful of your favorite spread can significantly lift your spirits. It's not trivial. It's a survival strategy. Mood really affects decision-making. The network may fail, but your home doesn't have to. The sixth point is something no one wants to talk about until it's too late. Your child has 102 degrees of fever in complete darkness, and your first aid kit is completely empty. This nightmare happened to my neighbor last winter. A study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention showed that 68% of Americans do not have adequate medical supplies for emergencies. This is terrible. When the electricity goes out, pharmacies close, and hospitals are overcrowded. You are left alone with a problem, and you need to be prepared. Your first aid kit for power outages should contain more than just Band-Aids. Stock up on pain relievers, fever reducers, antihistamines, and rehydration solutions. The American Red Cross now recommends a 7-day supply instead of the previous 3, after last year's prolonged outages. If you or someone in your family takes prescription medications, this is critically important. An amazing study in 2024 showed that 43% of people with chronic illnesses faced medication shortages during prolonged emergencies. Discuss with your doctor supplies for emergencies. Many insurance companies now cover such expenses after the passage of the Medical Emergency Preparedness Act last year. If someone in your family uses electrical medical devices, you absolutely need backup power. New portable battery systems can power a CPAP machine for 3 nights on a single charge. This is truly life-saving equipment. Here is my personal advice based on real experience. Create medication cards for each family member. Write down all medications, dosages, and allergies. During the last power outage, my father's phone died, and he couldn't remember the name of his heart medication when we finally reached a functioning pharmacy. This small card literally saved a life. It is also important to consider special needs. Diabetics need extra glucose tablets and a backup supply of insulin. People with asthma need several inhalers. Those with mobility issues require spare batteries for wheelchairs and scooters. This is not general preparation. This is the knowledge of your family's real needs. Don't forget the basic supplies for wound care: gauze, antiseptics, medical tape, instant cold packs. During a power outage, a simple cut can become dangerous if you cannot properly clean or treat it. Also consider a basic medical reference book. When you can't use Google to search for symptoms or treatments, having a physical guide becomes invaluable. During long power outages, minor injuries can become serious problems if left untreated. Number 7 becomes especially valuable when the electricity goes out. When Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico, people first sought not food. They desperately needed ways to contact their loved ones and find out if their families were safe. Communication had become more valuable than gold. What do you do first when disaster strikes? You pick up the phone. But what will happen when it runs out of battery and there is no electricity for several days? According to a Red Cross survey in the year 2024, 78% of Americans do not have a backup communication plan in case of an emergency. Almost 8 out of 10 people will be completely isolated when the power grid fails. First, acquire a hand crank emergency radio that supports weather alerts. My personal favorite is the Midland ER310. 6 minutes of cranking provides 30 minutes of broadcasting. This is not just for receiving weather updates. Often, it is the only way authorities convey evacuation instructions when mobile towers fail. Many emergency radios have USB ports to charge your phone. Invest in a battery with a capacity of at least 20,000 milliampere hours. New Anchor models can recharge your phone up to 5 times. Keep it always fully charged. This condition is absolutely necessary. This is what many people completely overlook: physical maps and written contact lists. An astonishing 67% of Americans do not know a single phone number by heart. When your phone is dead, who can you call from a landline or a borrowed phone? Write down those numbers right now. I hold a waterproof notebook with important contacts, meeting addresses, and essential medical information. It costs $3 and could save my family's life. The latest trend is mesh network devices such as Gotana or Meshistic. These gadgets allow sending text messages and sharing GPS coordinates with others up to 4 miles away, completely off the grid. Mobile phone communication is not required. Search and rescue teams use them, and they become available to ordinary people. Another popular option is satellite messengers like the Garmin InReach Mini. Yes, they are expensive, starting from $350 plus a subscription, but they work literally anywhere on the planet. For families with medical needs or living in remote areas, this can be a decisive factor. During the blackout in Texas, people with communication tools felt not only more comfortable, but also safer. They knew the shelters with places to find water and could coordinate with their neighbors. Number 8 is an unpleasant but important topic. Let's discuss what no one wants to talk about until it's too late. What happens when you can't flush? During the blackout in Texas, emergency rooms received 47% more cases of urinary tract infections because people avoided using toilets when they couldn't flush. The average toilet requires 1.6 gallons per flush. Without running water, you will quickly find yourself in a difficult situation. According to the report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the year 2023, sanitation-related illnesses increased threefold during prolonged power outages. This is not an exaggeration. It is a documented medical reality. Camping toilets are becoming increasingly popular among urban preppers. These portable devices cost about $30 and use special bags that capture odors and decompose waste. I keep mine under the bed along with 20 bags. A more budget-friendly option is a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat lid. Just add cat litter after each use. Temperature control is critically important. During the heat wave in the year 2024, the number of hospitalizations due to heat-related illnesses increased by 63%. A battery-operated fan can literally save your life. In cold weather, Mylar emergency blankets help retain 90% of body heat when used correctly. I have one for each family member. Personal hygiene becomes a challenging task. Wet wipes become a real treasure when you can't take a shower for several days. The last wet wipes for bathing without rinsing contain antibacterial agents that prevent skin infections during prolonged outage.